I've got some buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my array of buttons. And in my array of buttons, you can see I have got a column. Can you see how many buttons are in my column? I have got one column, and in it there are 4 buttons. So I can say I have got 1 times 4. And how many buttons do I have altogether? Well, 1 times 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 buttons. So with one column of 4 buttons, I have 4 altogether. But there's another way of looking at my array of buttons. At the moment, I was looking at them in one column, but I could see them in rows instead. And if I imagined them in rows, I'd be thinking, oh, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that's 4 times how many buttons in each row? Well, in this row there's 1 button. In this row there's 1 button. In this row there's 1 button. And in this row there is also 1 button. So I can say 4 times 1, so that's 4 rows, each with 1 button, also gives me 4. Why is that important? Well, wait and see. I've got some more buttons. Here they are. And I can put these in my array. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I have columns and rows again. I have 1, 2 columns, and in each column I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in each column. So I have 4 buttons in 2 columns. 2 columns times 4 buttons equals how many buttons altogether? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So I can say 2 times 4 is 8. But remember, we can also think about them in rows. I've still got 4 rows. Can you see how many buttons are in each row? That one's got 2. That one's got 2. My third one's got 2. And my fourth one's got 2. So I've got 4 rows, each with 2 buttons. But my answer will be exactly the same. I haven't changed how many buttons I've got, just the way I'm counting them. So it's still 8. Now, as it happens, I have even more buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4. So now I have how many columns? 1, 2, 3 columns. And my 3 columns each have 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons in them. So it's 3 columns times 4 buttons, which equals, let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 columns times 4 buttons equals 12 buttons altogether. Now, do you actually recognise that from your 3 times table? 3 times 4 is 12. Can you just about see it? 3 times 4 is 12. But remember, we can also look at this a different way in our array. We can look at the rows. I've still got 4 rows, same as I had before. And now, how many buttons in each row? Well, let's look at this top row. 1, 2, 3. So my row has got 3 buttons in it. 4 rows times 3 buttons is also going to be exactly the same number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because I haven't changed it. Now, can you see a pattern here? We've got 1 times 4 is 4, but 4 times 1 is also 4. So it doesn't matter when you're timesing which way round these are. 2 times 4 is 8, and 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. You see the pattern? And it's just because we're counting them in different ways. We're looking at our array and counting them. This is a really handy thing for learning your times tables, because once you've got your 1 times table, you've also got the start of every other times table. Once you've got your 2 times table, you've got the second in every other times table. And once you've learned your 3 times table, which you've just been doing, you've also got the third one in every single times table. So you've already learned the beginning of your 4 times table without even trying.